If you want to go all electric safely, there's really only one choice, a Volvo. I'm Tom Voelk with the Seattle International Auto Show, and this is the C40 Recharge.
It gets a more passionate fastback roofline than its sister XC40 Recharge. 2024 models may not look much different, but the motors are more efficient and charging can be quicker because competition never rests.
A base core model starts at $55,000. That's single motor rear drive. All-wheel drive adds $1,750. This is a fully loaded top-of-the-line C40. It retails for just under $62,000. C40 does not qualify for the federal tax credit because it's assembled in Belgium. As far as the range goes, the EPA rates single-motor C40s at 297 miles. This all-wheel drive, 257.
Rear-drive models now have a max charge rate of 200 kilowatts. All-wheel drive versions remain at 150, but I'll get into charging later because numbers are not always as important as one might think. On the more emotional side, the top trim Ultimate C40 that I'm driving has an Orifice crystal shift controller and optional wool blend upholstery. Carpets and mats are made from recycled materials, like used fishing nets and that Diet Coke bottle you tossed a few months back. Volvo might be best known for safety, but it's long been a champion of responsible consumption. This accent is a topographical abstract of Sweden's Abisko National Park. A big glass roof is standard on all models. The new motors were designed in-house. The rear unit makes 255 horsepower. In front, it's 147 horses. Its asynchronous design conserves energy by engaging only when needed. Total power is 402 horsepower and 494 pound-feet of torque.
C40 Recharge does not have push-button start or a key that you turn to fire it up. It's one of those cars that when you sit in it, it's on.
All C40s and XC40s have a 2,000-pound max tow rating. There's a single-speed transmission. One-pedal driving is a single level in the menu. It works well to a full stop. Volvo believes it's tuned the C40 perfectly. Off-road is the only way to really change up the driving modes. The 78 kilowatt-hour battery in Volvo's CMA architecture isn't the usual flat skateboard configuration. Packaging of the cells and the drivetrain mean there's little front storage, and components fill a spine down the middle of the cabin, including the back seat area. FYI, temperatures are unusually chilly in the Pacific Northwest. This would be heavy frost with ice lurking in shaded places.
The single-motor rear-drive C40 Recharge will dash to 60 miles an hour in about 7 seconds. If you want extra oomph and traction handy on a day like today, you're going to want to go with this dual-motor setup. That lowers it to 4.5. And it feels quicker than it is. Instant torque from electric motors, it'll spoil you every time. Now, all-wheel drive is, of course, great for grip, but remember, it is not all-wheel stop. Stopping distances will be longer on pavement like this. And tires. Tires make a huge difference.
Best not to test out Volvo's legendary safety reputation, which goes far beyond crumple zones. There's standard automatic emergency braking with pedestrian and large animal detection, plus blind spot warning. That's stuff that Volvo actually pioneered. The chairs provide advanced whiplash protection. The seat bottom frames absorb spinal impact if the vehicle drives off the road into a ravine. It handles well, which should keep C40s out of the ditch in the first place. The low center of gravity, common to all electric vehicles, helps.
Driving dynamics? Well, the steering effort is on the lighter side, not gobs and gobs of road feel. It does corner really well. The suspension is firmer than you might imagine, especially if you drove an old Volvo. Body movements are very nicely controlled.
Steering weight can be notched up one level in the menu. This isn't a large vehicle, a couple inches longer than a Mazda CX-30, and it doesn't ride overly high for those wanting to look over Escalades and Sequoias. However, the Volvo's height makes getting in and out effortless.
It's easy to see out of the C40. When you're looking forward, good thing there's blind spot warning because the coupe-like back end does cut into visibility a bit, especially compared to the XC40.
I'd like to see a wiper here because aerodynamics don't keep rain off the rear window even at highway speeds. No synthetic performance tones, it's just a quiet EV, one of the benefits of electrification. C40 has an intangible quality about it that draws people in. More folks than usual quizzed me on it during the week that I had it. Most knew that it was an EV right off the bat. Few seemed to be bothered by the price. However, everyone wanted to know how far it goes on a charge.
The EPA-rated range of the dual-motor C40 Recharge is 257 miles. It's been cold in Seattle, the mid-30s, and you know what that does to range. I'm seeing closer to 200. If you charge at home, that's very doable, and it'll get me to Portland, Oregon.
At a 150 kilowatt terminal, this C40 would juice from 10 to 80% in 34 minutes, or 28 for the single motor version. At this 50 kilowatt terminal, it took an hour and 15 minutes. But hey, it's free.
For the best electric vehicle experience, yeah, you really need to be able to charge at home. For starters, it's usually a lot less expensive and more convenient because you plug in before bedtime and you wake up to a full pack. Now, even if you're at a charging station, there are things that you can do to kill time. Maybe get some groceries, return some emails. I'm working on an edit for my next video.
A couple things while I'm here. The three-dimensional trim is backlit. It draws a lot of eyeballs. Door pockets are so large, my 16-inch MacBook Pro fits without issue. The felted material keeps it from scratching. Volvo cabins can be calming spaces. C40 leans into a casual appearance. These feel like hardware, some of the best in the business. The surround view camera offers a bunch of different views to make sure your shiny new car doesn't get dented. Volvo's orthopedic seats are known to be among the best in the business. These are heated, no real need for venting. The wool upholstery is breathable, and no, it doesn't itch. Volvo's interface screen is about the perfect size, not too big or small, and the response is good. There are very few hard buttons on the dash. Audio volume and defrosters are pretty much it. At least it has turn signals.
This does have Google Assistant, which means you don't have to look down and search for buttons. You just use voice commands. That's actually safer. For example, hey Google, turn on the heated steering wheel.
Got it. Turning on the steering wheel heater.
Once the generous 4-year complimentary digital service expires, I can see many people just switching to Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. That, at the very least, offers up maps and music. In addition to the huge door pockets, there are some small cubbies to complement the usual larger ones that you'd expect in a vehicle. And for smaller purses and backpacks, this is unique to Volvo.
As far as the back seat goes, the sloping roofline does cut into headroom a little bit. I'm 5'9", but I have enough knee and leg room, very generous, and my feet go way underneath the seats. That's great. Both seat backs get pockets, yay. Also, down by the seat cushions, more storage. There is no separate climate zone back here, at least there are adjustable vents. Power for phones, check. And this being the top of the line model, heated seats.
At 15 cubic feet, the C40 loses a cube to the XC40 Recharge. I like how the security cover stows away. This is more than a floor. I use the dividing function to keep food from sliding around while driving to Thanksgiving dinner. Pop-up bag hooks too, but no spare tire. The ski pass-through is good. With all-wheel drive, I'd take this to the slopes. It's easy enough to reach in to drop the backs, which results in a completely flat load area. This is 49 cubic feet, around 7 less than the XC40. C40 Recharge has a lot going for it: style, performance, handling, personality, and legendary Volvo safety. It's priced like Polestar 2, Nissan Ariya Platinum, Genesis GV60, or a base all-wheel drive Cadillac Lyriq. That's all before the maze of federal and state tax credits. Check it out at your local Volvo showroom. For the Seattle International Auto Show, I'm Tom Voelk.